Hey guys, it's Peach again. So today's video will be focusing on 5-star character. As you already probably know that they give us apologies reward, and one of them is 5-star character selector for the permanent banner itself. So basically you don't need to do any pull, you just choose whatever that you want from the 5-star permanent character itself. And in here maybe some of you already have this question. Should I just put the same more copies so get more sequence? So let's say get Calcharo S1 or Verina S1, or you just pull a brand new character that I don't have. Let's say you already have Jianxin and you already have Calcharo. Should I get Verina? Something like that. So yeah, in here I hope that I can help. I will give you my point of view. So for some of you that find in dilemma, so take notes. This is not always the fixed answer. You can take it or leave it. So let's get started. So let's start with the alphabetical order and start with C, which is Calcharo. So Calcharo resonance chains. Of course, there's a couple of them good. Let's start with the S1. S1 is basically the skill, the extermination order. When they just hit to any enemy, it will recover 10 resonance energy. That means it will recover energy for the ult itself, which is good. It can make him can ult faster. So this is actually a good quality of life. This is pretty much good. You actually can consider to get it. S2 also pretty much still good, because whenever you do your intro skill, that means intro skill when you change to Calcharo back again, the resonance skill damage will increase by 30%, which is still pretty good. And S3 is basically when you're doing your ultimate itself, your Calcharo electro damage bonus increase by 25%. This is just another huge buff of your damage itself overall. Just makes your whole rotation DPS just increase, which is still good for main DPS. As for the one that I highlight, also very good, especially if you aim for Jianxin. My god, that team will be cracked. They supporting each other non-stop. Because in here, after you casting outro skill Shadowy Raid, electro damage bonus of whole team member increased by 20% for 30 seconds. That means after you change from Calcharo to Jianxin damage is getting buff, and back again to Calcharo getting buff. That's basically crazy, man. It just make electro team so cracked in this S4. So if you maybe get S4 Calcharo, this is actually very good for electro team in general. And then S5, it's okay, increase intro skill, not bad. And S6 is just pretty much mostly the last copies. Is just pure increased damage and more getting 2 more phantoms. It's just basically more damage, and it's a huge increase of damage. So if you just want to make your Calcharo correct, then get S6. So for Calcharo, which one, if you ask the best stopping point for the resonance chain, I will say S1 is good stopping point, or S4, because this is just so good for electro team itself, or S6. So either S1, S4, or S6. That's the one that I want to highlight. And let's move to E, Encore. So Encore, if you kind of read again, the resonance change, all the sequence quite similar with Calcharo, probably because both of them is DPS, so they have shared the same common. And then let's start with the S1. S1 is basically just increase all the fusion damage. Whenever you just trigger any basic attack, your fusion damage will increase by 3% and stack for 4 times for 6 seconds. And that's really just straightforward increased damage, and that's actually good for DPS. And S2, Encore will restore energy when you do basic attack or any resonance skill, so it will make her able to ult faster and less worry about the energy, and that's actually good because Encore ultimate also relatively good to get nuke damage. And S3 also good, increase heavy attack damage. It's just straightforward, S1 to S3 just increase more damage. It's just basically it, they say. S4 also similar to Calcharo, but this one for fusion damage. So after you do heavy attack, and then you will get fusion damage bonus to all your team member for 20% for 30 seconds. That's actually good. Maybe you want to pair, let's say more defeat, just increase the fusion damage by a lot, then it just make more crack in the overall team in fusion. Maybe you play all fusion team, that's actually good. And the next one is S5's resonance skill damage bonus increase by 30%. Yeah, it's not bad. Not, I think, the most shining one, but okay. And S6 also pretty much just slightly increase damage by a lot too. Because in here, after you use the resonance celebration, will gain stack up to 5 times, 25% increase if you want to maximum. That's actually still huge for S6. So overall, I think Encore sequence, everything is pretty much very straightforward. It's just basically, let's say if you increase her more sequence, you get more copy of her, she just get more damage. That's basically it. For the Encore, basically any stopping point is pretty much good because all of her resonance changes just increase damage. But for me, I will either do the stopping point of S1, S4, or S6 because it's just so low of damage in here. And next one is Jianxin. So Jianxin basically have relatively unique resonance chains compared to other two that I already mentioned. Let's start with the first, the S1. The S1 is basically after you trigger the intro skill, Jianxin will get 100% extra chi from basic attack for 10 seconds. So what is chi? Chi is basically her forest circuit bar. If you see the HP above the green thingy, that's her chi. And you know that in here is very important from her, right? After you get the full, you need to hold the basic attack, so he will do the circle thing until full charge, get shield, something like that. So that's actually the main gimmick of her. But you know the problem to get that bar, the chi bar, the green bar, it's actually pretty long, right? At S0 because you need to do basic attack, skill, little needs quite on-field time. With this one, after you trigger intro skill, it will charge just a lot faster and it will make her rotation even more smoother and more efficient, especially as a support and tanker. So her off-field, we don't spend so much time in here, and actually good quality of life here. This is a good sequence. And S2, this is when your resonance skill will get one more charges, so you can perform 2 more times. This is actually good too, because you can use 2 different approach. First is just like you want to do as a defensive purpose, where you can finally counter 2 more times, or you just want to tap skill, so you just get more chi faster, so just make the whole rotation from Jianxin a lot faster. And that's actually good still. This S2 also still pretty good. S3 in here, mostly good for if people have skill issue. Right now, you should not worry anymore to have like enemy attacking you, so you don't really need to have always like successful counter. So in here, as long you trigger skill and you just hold for 2.5 seconds, it always counter. So you don't need have to rely from enemy attacking you. It will always become chi counter as long you hold the skill for 2.5 seconds. So good for skill issue people. And S4 is relatively good if you play Tower Adversity, because in here just make her, after you do your heavy attack, your Resonance Liberation or the ultimate itself, damage increased by 80% for 15 seconds. And that's actually huge in if you fighting with any heavy content. I think this will be correct. S5 is not bad, it just make the ultimate range a lot faster. I think her ultimate is already pretty big, make it a lot faster, still pretty much nice. And S6, the translation, I feel it's kind of weird wording, but I hope I can explain in the right way. So basically in here they say after you do your heavy attack, basically her forest circuit, and you don't need to do the full charges, you only need to perform the pushing punch. Pushing punch is basically only the first charge, if you realize in here. Pushing punch, only the first charge. You don't need to do this until the end of the bar. So basically after you only do the first charge, you can just tap your heal and perform the specialty counter. So after you perform the specialty counter, it will deal area damage by this multiplication, and also you will get the shield progress for right away. That means the maximum shield without you have to charge all the way, like you don't need to wait. So we can say like shortcut of getting shield, or even say at the worst case if you fail to perform your heavy attack, maybe getting interrupted, you can get this shield by using the skill, as long you use this in 5 seconds, of course. So it can say give you more safetiness as a tank, make her more complete as a tank. For Jianxin, for my stopping point, which one if you want the more dupes, I say S1 good stopping point, S2 also still a good stopping point, or S4 is a good stopping point. I think so. For my highlight, it's S1, S2, and S4. Next character is Lingyang. So Lingyang resonance chain also quite similar with other Dupes. It's just straightforward, increase damage, all of them. S1 I think the one that good quality of life, because it will make probably him less awkward, because before in my review I told like he's pretty awkward to play. In here finally Lingyang will get anti-interruption, like it getting enhanced, so probably maybe he will less awkward with some certain enemy. Of course I need someone to test, but if that's the case, that's actually good to make her less awkward. And S2 is just give him more energy. That means he can ult faster, because her ult is basically give him buff glacial damage, and that's actually good. S3 is basically resonance liberations. It will make the basic attack and also resonance skill damage increase by 10%. This is just straightforward good, because it just like increase your damage right away, just straightforward increase damage, vertical investment. And this one, outro skill mark increase glacial damage for all of 3 members 20% for 30 seconds. This is actually very good one. I think this is one of the best one in Lingyang's sequence, because it just buff all glacial damage like team. So let's say like you have Sanhua in there, your Sanhua already get buff in here from this S4 after you just perform outro skill. And actually huge though if you want to play like mono glacial team, something like that. And S4 is Resonant Liberation, additional deal glacial damage to 100% of the new attack. This is still a nice increased damage, just a vertical investment increased damage straight away. And this one also pretty much the same, just increase damage right away. After you use your forest circuit, during your first 3 seconds every resonance skill, your basic absolute damage like literally increased by 100%, just like give you nuke more damage in the first 3 seconds. That's usually pretty good. For Lingyang, the one that I want to highlight, which one the good stopping point, I think S1, say with other main DPS S4 and S6. And the last character is Verina. So Verina resonance chain is quite similar actually with other DPS, but she's healer is quite weird. The one that very different is Jianxin. But okay, let's just start with the S1. S1, after you outro skill, the Blossom will get more healing basically from, of course, it's getting from Verina attack. So basically, she will give more heal. So if you feels like you need more heal, this is still pretty much good sequence. If you want more heal, of course, but if not, then not really. And S2, this one is actually very good because after you use resonance skill, both an experiment, you will gain 1 more of photosynthetic energy and 10 concerto energy. So basically in here, Verina rotation can be even faster. It will make like overall your DPS become more efficient. So it indirectly make your damage overall become increase because your on field on Verina become lesser. So you just can focus on your main DPS and sub DPS. And that's actually good in here. This is gonna make it like shortcut. You don't need to spend so much time on Verina. And that's actually very good. And S3 in here basically just make your healings a lot more. And then S4, this is also good after you perform heavy, mid, and resonance liberation. And outro skill, your Spectro damage bonus will increase to all team's members. So basically like Rover Spectro can be good, or in maybe another future Spectro DPSs, this can be good for all the team. And S5 basically just makes like, let's say your HP is less than 50%, it just gives more healing, kinda good in emergency cases, but I'm not really sure in hologram because hologram most of them is one shot, so I'm not really sure how very reliable this S5, but maybe Tower Facility can be useful, but not really sure in hologram. And S6 is basically just make Verina deal more damage and give more heal again to all party, and it's really still pretty much good. More heal and more damage. For Verina, the good stopping point of her I think is either S2 because this is just so good to make her rotation even faster, or S4 that just to buff Spectro damage to the team itself for the Spectro team like Spectro Rover. So that's basically everything about their sequence itself. Maybe some of you still very confused which S1 that I should get. Basically, I say in the end, it's very depends on your preferences. But if you just ask me my personal opinion, which one S1 that I want to get, I think I will either prioritize like S1 Genshin itself because it just make her rotation even faster, or S1 Calcharo because you just give more like resonance energy so he can get ult faster and without have energy problem, or S1 Encore because just straightforward increase damage. But other than that, if you really want to main Lingyang, I know Lingyang is not really great character, but I think this is worth to try too if you really like Lingyang. But it's not really my personal choice, but at the last choice for me is Verina because I don't think getting more heal is quite that important. So I still prioritize even Calcharo, Jianxin, or Encore. That's my first 3. But if you ask me like which one I should prioritize if I want to go for S2 character, I say if you want to go to S2 character, I think Verina is the main priority among all other standard because S2 Verina is just so good. It will give you photosynthetic energy, and this one the real deal 10 concerto energy. It will, I already keep mention, her on-field become even faster. So if healer on-field time is just become faster, that means you can maximize your DPS and you basically indirectly increase your team damage. So that's why I say for S2, I will choose Verina. For S3 and above is too specific. Just ask me in the comment. I will try to reply because that's too much. And I just move directly. What character if you want to well until S6, which one should you prioritize? And I can say all just main DPS. Let's say like Encore is the one you can consider until S6. Or like Calcharo until S6. That's pretty much good. Or the last choice that you can go is Lingyang. So, but for me, as of my preference, I prefer either Encore or Calcharo to go to exit S6. And let's move to another stuff that maybe some people ask, should I just focus on get more dupes or the same copy of the character, or get brand new character that you don't have? Let's say you have already like Genshin and Verina, should I consider get Calcharo, Encore, something like that? And I say it's actually depend which one is your priority. If your priority just to make straight up your current team like now be getting stronger, then of course getting copies of the same character is just better because just make your character just make your team overall just become stronger. However, if you just care more about team diversity to expand more your team itself to make like maybe second, third team, of course getting new character is better. And for me, if you ask me which one is the best approach, for me, because this is a brand new game, you don't have so much character, I prefer to just get a new character compared to get more dupes. Because in here, finally, I can build my second or third teams even better and make it more stable in my overall team compared to just make one whole team just stronger. I think I better for me to spread evenly. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. This is actually turned out to be quite long, so I apologize. So I hope this is helpful. So yeah, in the end, it's your choice. You can listen to me or not, but I just hope this is really helpful. If you're still confused which standard character I should pick, I already make that cover in another video. You can feel free to check it out. But if you still have another specific question, feel free to ask me in the comment. I will try to answer. So if you like this video, feel free to shoot proof of button and like, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.